Today we are going to be reading Diary of the Wimpy Kid. Diary of the Wimpy Kid, The Getaway, by Jeff Kinney. To Annie. Sunday. The worst part of having someone tell you about their vacation is trying to pretend you're happy for them because no one wants to hear about all the fun that didn't have. Yawn. The only vacations I want to hear about are the ones where things went wrong. That way I don't feel bad for missing out. Excuse me. Well, my family just got back from vacation, and believe me, if I could have stayed home, I would have, but I didn't have a choice. A few weeks ago, this vacation wasn't even supposed to happen. We were just having a normal December, and I was really looking forward to Christmas. But Mom and Dad were getting all stressed out about everything we had to do. Get ready for the holidays. We were way behind on decorations. The house and nothing was going the way it was supposed to. I'm sure we could have gotten our act together in time for Christmas, but one night an ad came on TV that totally turned our holidays upside down. Escape to luxury, escape to paradise. The commercials was for this place called Isla de Coras, which is where Mom and Dad went for their honeymoon. And the reason I knew that is because every time an ad for that place comes on TV, the two of them get all kissy-faced. Makes me uncomfortable thinking about Mom and Dad before they had us kids, and I wouldn't have to if Mom didn't break out their honeymoon album every year on their anniversary. The night after that ad came on, Mom and Dad made an announcement that said this: we are going to skip Christmas all together to Isla de Coras instead. When I asked Mom how we are going to get our gifts to the resort, Mom said that trip was our gift. I thought that sounded like a terrible idea, and I was surprised Dad was on board with it. He doesn't usually like to spend a lot of money, and I was sure this resort was going to cost a fortune. But he said he was sick of the cold weather, and he wanted to escape to someplace warm. Personally, I don't have a problem with cold weather. In fact, generally speaking, the worse it is outside, the happier I am. Yeah, me too. I figured Manny and Roderick would help me take some sense into Mom and Dad, and we would put a stop to all this. But those guys weren't any help at all. So I had to accept we weren't going to have a normal Christmas at home. But what I really didn't like was that we had to fly to this place. I'd never been on a plane before, and I wasn't crazy about the idea of locking myself in a metal tube. Nobody else seemed worried, though, and 2 weeks later on the night when we should have been hanging up our stockings and sitting around the fire watching Christmas specials, we were packing our suitcase for an island getaway. We left the house around 8 on the morning of Christmas Eve. Dad was pretty uptight because he wanted to leave an hour earlier, but Mom said he was ridiculous and we would get to the airport in plenty of time. It was only in the 20 degrees outside, but Roderick was already dressed for vacation. It turned out Dad was right. We should have left earlier. Apparently, Christmas Eve is one of those busiest travel days of the year, so the roads were choked with families. Choked means there's a lot of people with families driving to see their relatives, and nobody really seemed to be in the Christmas spirit either. Hong Kong airport, 1.5 miles, and a lot of angry kids. What made things a lot worse was when it had started to snow. After that, things slowed to a crawl. Mom and Dad started arguing over what time we should have left. Dad almost missed the exit for the airport. He had to cut across 3 lanes of the traffic, which didn't look easy. When he reached the airport, we made parking lot was full. That meant we had to park in the economy lot, which was pretty far away, Dad said. He dropped the rest of us off at the curb with all the luggage and then come meet us after he parked. When we got to the passenger drop-off area, it was complete. Chaos. We tried to unload our bags, but the cops weren't letting anyone stop for more than 30 seconds. And that was just stressed everyone out and made things worse. Tweet, tweet, tweet. I had to get back in the van so I could help Dad with the rest of the bags or Jordan. That kind of things would have been Roderick's job. But since he has dressed in the 80-degree weather, he got out of it. He was lucky he did too. When we got to the gate for economy lot, Dad couldn't reach the ticket from his window, so he made me get out of the car to grab it. Fortunately, I didn't notice that there were a giant splash puddle on my side of the car until it was too late. Sploosh. After we parked, we rolled our bags into the nearest shuttle stop, which wasn't a lot of fun. The sign said the shuttle bus to the main terminal came every 10 minutes, but there was no room for us in the bus shelter, so we had to wait outside in the freezing cold. 20 minutes we went by without a bus, and Dad started getting really anxious about the time. He said we were going to have to walk to the terminal, which was about a mile away. I would have tried to convince Dad to wait a little longer, but my sock was starting to turn to ice, and I didn't want to get frostbite. So sure enough, we got about 100 feet from the shelter. The shuttle bus pulled into the parking lot. We tried to get the driver to stop, but he just blew right by us. So we ran to the shuttle, but we didn't make it back in time for room. Now Dad was really worried about missing our flight. I told him maybe missing a flight wouldn't be the worst thing to happen, but he didn't seem to be in the mood to hear what I had to say. By the time we got to the nearest terminal, we were both soaking wet and miserable. So when a pickup truck almost hit us in the crosswalk, it made Dad really mad, and he let the driver know. Kick. That just made the driver mad, and he pulled his truck over and stepped out of the vehicle. He didn't stick along to talk things over with the guy. We ran in the opposite direction and blended in with some people standing on the sidewalk until the coast was clear. Dad told me I could learn a lesson from his, which was never lose your temper and do something stupid, but I took away a different lesson. When Heffley's get in trouble, Heffley's run. The rest of the family was waiting inside the entrance to the terminal. Mom wanted to know what took us so long, and Dad wanted to know why he hadn't gotten in the lane with Manny and Roderick and had held a place for us. That's the end. I read 15 pages, and tomorrow I'll read another 15 pages. You guys have a great day, and goodbye.